Campfire.
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. The best way to strengthen our economy for the long term is investing in our education system and raising the skills of American workers. To succeed in the global economy, we need to modernize our schools, hire excellent teachers, and focus on the future. Support great public schools, and we can make the good life even better.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association. Aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
I wanted to quit for so long, but I didn't know where to start.
I was afraid of what people would think, but then I found the right support to start my recovery journey. 1 in 14 Americans reports experiencing a substance use disorder, a treatable medical condition. Treatment can take many forms, so there are a variety of options to explore and find the one that works best for you. Recovery from drug addiction is possible.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Welcome into The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into The Breeze. I am Harrison Arns running the board here. We got host, as always, Derek Pearson and Haas with us as well. I'm wearing my Bears crew neck because the Bears are officially on the clock, so that's always a good feeling here. Got to support those guys. And obviously, yesterday was a wild NFL slate, in particular the last game, so we'll have plenty of time to talk about that. But Haas, I'll throw it to you, and your mic is muted, by the way, so just to be sure, get that unmuted there. Perfect. So how you guys doing?
Great. Before we start, what's up, Bears?
Oh, excuse me. Hold on here. There we go. Now we can hear you guys.
I was saying before we start, I have to say, the Bears.
Yeah, there it is.
Who do you want? Number one, do you want a quarterback, or are you trust your guy there in Fields?
Oh, I like Fields. Absolutely. I think there's reports that Bears are looking to trade Fields. I think that's just a front, so people think they really want that number one pick. They're going to trade that away. They're going to trade that number one pick to get more picks. Because I mean, you don't really need a number one guy right now. You don't need the number one draft pick. So I think they're going to use that, give Fields some help, and act like they really do want a quarterback, and then hopefully get people bidding a little higher than they would otherwise. Because if you know the Bears don't want it, they're gonna get some low bids. So by all means, I think you trade that, and you just get a king's ransom for that number one pick. And from there, you just look at the field and you figure out, what are the biggest weaknesses? Do we want to patch up the defense? Do we want to give Fields some more weapons at receiver in particular? Because I like the running backs. So I think it's going to be wide receivers and probably defense. But I'm feeling pretty good. Justin Fields, as of now, is the guy. I don't think you move away from him at all.
I know DP, and I think I can guarantee he thinks differently than that.
Well, here's what happens with teams that have earned the first pick in the NFL draft, which means they have a recent and consistent and constant level of making bad decisions about talent and personnel. Like the two are tied together so completely well that the decision makers in these programs, in these organizations, never change. They never learn. And what seems logical for all the fans and all the opposing teams, the Bears are going to do the opposite.
Don't say that.
They're going to listen. If you're going to say that a recent number one pick was okay, now we can talk recent history of choosing defensive players, and you can say, hey, we actually drafted some guys, but we couldn't develop them or keep them. You couldn't develop or keep them. Then you could say, well, let's help out the one guy that we got right, even though we didn't really trust him to be the right guy, because we literally tried to give his job away to somebody less than. We literally tried, and then he just was so great that he won the job. Then you could do the logical thing is, one, get a protector for him. Two, get him a weapon, a full-on weapon, who would be elite and one of the best in the league at that position. He could go and get a Jefferson. He could go get, right, he could do what everybody else in the division did. Or you can go and get the next Hutchinson, right, which is a team in the division did that thing. Now, you can copy success, or you can do what you want, which is choose a guy from a history that says, I don't know how to choose a guy. Harrison, look, if I asked you who the best player was in college football, what would you say?
I mean, you're probably looking at C.J. Stroud if he decides to go to the draft.
See, you're thinking like a Bears fan. There are three defenders. There are three defenders at critical NFL positions who are elite. Elite. Right? You can go get a linebacker, an edge. You can get a middle linebacker, an edge linebacker, or downhill safety that will reset. Or you can get a defensive tackle who's easily the best player in college football. Right?
That's fair.
Who plays the Bears' way of playing, which will make everybody better around him. He'll occupy two blockers. You can go to Georgia, make the decision, make the call now, and get you a 6-time future Pro Bowler to put in the middle of your defense to help make everybody better. You can go to Georgia and get, or go to Alabama and get a linebacker who plays linebacker the way the Bears have historically played linebacker, right? To have a guy who is a tackle maker and a deal maker and a play. You can go to Georgia, Alabama, and get a wide receiver that gives you a guy for Justin Fields to rely on and build on. Or you can get him a runner that Justin Fields can just turn to 30 times a game and let somebody else do the heavy lifting. You can go and get a silverback from Georgia, LSU, Alabama, who will protect Justin Fields for the next 10 years. It's going to take some effort for the Bears to screw this up. But the Bears are an all-effort sort of deal. Right? Like, if you got any of those players, the Bears fans should throw confetti and have a parade. I have a sneaky suspicion that they're not going to do that.
So do you think they should try to hold on to that, or do you think they should just trade down and then try to get some assets, or do you think they should just go big, get a guy that they're absolutely certain will dominate in the NFL, or at least play right away?
The pressure of the one is to get the one right. Get one right. The problem with the one is if you trade down for 2 ones, which is the only acceptable trade. If you're not going to get several ones for number one, then don't do it. Don't do it, because you're still in place. You're going to get a second one in the first 3 picks of the second round.
I mean, see what Miami got for the 3rd overall pick.
Right. So
they got Tyreek, they got Waddle. Who's the third? They got Chubb. They got 3 studs for that number 3 pick.
But do you trust? So if you trust the Bears to make the 1 pick right, then at some level you could trust them to make the trade and make 3 picks right, because we know people will make mistakes and bypass some talented players. 3 starters is better than 1 Pro Bowler, but you got to get it right. And the problem is the decision makers at the Bears haven't always made the best decisions. Again, they tried to say that Justin Fields wasn't the guy.
Yeah.
Like they tried to squash him.
This is golden and all, but we have 3 months to tell the Bears how bad they are and the things we should do. With number one picks and all those picks last night that he threw. That's probably what we should be talking about right now with Trevor Lawrence. Just that the second half, the belief that they could come back. They're the cardiac kids now. They've been losing a lot and coming back and winning all these games. And so is Jacksonville scary? Can they beat Kansas City, or is that going to be a blowout?
I got my opinion, but I'll let you go, DP. You got a smile on your face.
Can we pump the brakes on crowning Trevor Lawrence the next greatest thing?
He had 4 picks. I didn't say he's great.
He did. Well, I'm saying this to the fan base that he is the accumulation of all of his things rather than just some of them. And we know that Trevor Lawrence has the clutch gene. We know that. We know that Allen has the talent gene, but does he have the clutch gene? That's what separates Brady, Mahomes from Rodgers, etc. That being able to clutch in those moments, to be constantly great, and then to be greater in the clutch than everybody else. Trevor was greater than Justin Herbert. That's what happened last night. He's better than Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's fine. He's going to be an all-pro quarterback for a long time. And he'll have a chance now to take this bitter pill and turn it into greatness. Like, he'll have that chance. But do you really are you going to be willing to bet more on Trevor Lawrence than on Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, no, they don't have a chance. Not in my eyes. A very, very, very small chance. I don't see the Chiefs losing in any shape or form. I mean, the Chargers do what they do last night. I mean, they haven't really ever been that team to bust through the bubble of greatness. You know, we're at a point there where Justin Herbert, everyone's like, oh, he's the guy. He's the next one up. He's going to be, which is fine. You know, he's a good quarterback. But I was saying it in my solar hour. It's like greatness happens earlier than you think. And the clock's ticking for Justin Herbert. And again, that clock's only accelerating right now. So, you know, Trevor Lawrence is the same thing. This is a good game from him, but there's no way I can seriously say that, oh, he's got a great shot against Mahomes. Mahomes has done it over and over again. His biggest gripe is getting to the Super Bowl, but throughout the early round in the playoffs, Mahomes has shown that he can get through.
So, who's Herbert's coach next year? Because as that was going on, I'm like, if this dude loses, he's not coming back.
Well, Justin didn't lose it. Herbert didn't lose it.
I know. Who's his coach next year?
Herbert didn't lose it. And I'm not sure that the coach lost it. The reality is you don't wipe away the entire season because of the result of the playoff game. That was a road game in the first round of the NFL playoffs. Look, the work for them should be to make next year's playoff game a home game so that you have that additional step up. I don't think you can get caught. The draft will help you fill positions of need. The offseason, free agency will help you fill positions of need. But you're one of the 16 best teams in the country, in the world. You're one of the 8 best. Why bury it and burn it to the ground when, Like we'll have the same discussion about Dallas. Dallas loses. People are saying burn it to the ground. Well, that says you should have burned it to the ground to begin with, but that's after what a 10, 11 win season. That's a little weird.
12 win seasons in a row.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to me that we're so willing to throw everything out of the window that had success at the highest level in the toughest league of football that exists. I don't know. It's just weird.
I know there are issues there, but when they fired, was it Schottenheimer in San Diego when he was 14-2? Yep. I'm sure there was a lot of friction there. But you fired a 14-2 coach. Like, it happens if you think the guy can't get you there.
But you haven't done that. Means you won 14 games. You won 14 games. Like, that's the season. People complain all the time about devaluing the regular season. The regular season is where the bills get paid. That's where that's the foundation of the league and who your organization is what you do in the regular season. It's just like college football, and the regular season matters because that's what people invest in. Peripheral people and the diehards get hyped about that additional game in that additional space. But the reality is the lay fan here in Nebraska, 90,000 folks make a plan every Saturday for 12 weeks. Whatever happens after that's gravy. It's gravy. So I just wish folks would calm down about always trying to find the next hot chick. Stop doing it. Like the next hot chick, well, you don't know if she can cook. You don't know if she can clean. You don't know if she's smart. You don't know if she's got a degree. Stop. Sometimes you just have to work in the space that you are and accept the success that you have. San Diego had a great year. They had a great year. Terrible finish, but guess what? 31 teams have a terrible finish. That's just the way it works. Nobody walks away happy except for the people that walk away happy.
Yeah, and then real quick, I do want to get to the text line. We had Ellis in Illinois. They said, even during the Jaguars' comeback last night, I was alarmed at the high level of accuracy from Trevor Lawrence. Then he also says, for us older guys, Justin Herbert is starting to remind me more and more of Dan Fouts, and coincidentally, they both played for the Chargers.
Well, but they were. See, I'm old enough to remember how much heat Dan Fouts took because they were an all-flash offense. Like there were people then that wanted the Chargers to simply rely on Chuck Muncie and Tony Galbraith and to run the ball more, even after they had 1,000-yard seasons. But they had such a unique set of receivers in the original John Jefferson and Charlie Joyner and Wes Chandler. So Dan Fouts could sling it. He had one of the most underrated tight ends ever in Kellen Winslow. So he should have done what he did, but they couldn't defend the three of us. in a time, right? They were gonna put up 38 points. They were gonna give up 41. That's just how it worked. And Fouts would say this: I don't get to cover anybody. Like I don't get to play defense. My job is to score points. It's the rest of the team to do this. Justin Herbert is in a similar situation, although he has a generational defender in Bosa that can help them change their level and location. Let Herbert be great where he is. None of these quarterbacks can do it by themselves.
Yeah, and to keep on Eckler, Eckler's phenomenal. I'm falling more and more in love with that guy. He is incredible in the goal line. He's not even the biggest running back, but he finds a way to get in there every time. That's one guy that if you're the Chargers, you got to hold on to that guy. That's a guy that Justin Herbert, when you get into the red zone, he is so reliable on a guy you can just turn around, hand it off, and he will get you 6 points more often than not.
Where was he in the touchdown scored ranking?
I think
wasn't he top 5? Wasn't he top 5?
Yeah.
Wasn't he number 1?
He's 1 or 2. He's up there.
Yeah.
At one point, he was leading it by 10, so I have a hard time believing it.
Right?
I mean, for LA, if they had Mike Williams, it probably would have been a little bit of a different game. But it's the playoffs. You're going to have injuries. I understand that. When you brought up Dan Fouts, that lets me pivot to a quote from Pete Carroll yesterday. It's like we were playing against Fran Tarkenton. And so DP, that's your generation. What's he saying when he's saying that about Brock Purdy?
Purdy's ability to make calm out of chaos and to make chaos out of calm. Tarkenton's ability, again, people didn't necessarily sling the ball around, but Tarkenton created more offense, unnatural offense, than any quarterback maybe in NFL history. Like his ability to drop back 3 steps, pump fake, get a defender up in the air because he was a tiny guy. He would get him in the air to try to block it. Then he'd slide under their arm. A linebacker would get caught looking in the wrong place because he thought he would get home. And then Tarkenton would throw it to Stu Voigt, who was standing 6 yards away. Or Tarkenton would actually tee one up and throw it deep to John Gilliam. And defenders would go, wait a minute. How did that little dude, like we can't even see the ball being released because he's throwing it from weird angles. He was probably as good as anybody at creating on the run a passing game. Like he would scramble around. He would run 30 yards just to throw an 8-yard pass. Like that. So, but that's also why when people talk about Lamar and quarterbacks that move, Russell Wilson, you got to go back in history. Fran Tarkenton set the table. The Georgia Peach was special. Tiny guy, a ferocious competitor, high IQ, knew where everybody was on the field, and would move defenders with his feet so that he could beat them with his arm. And he would move defenders scrambling to the left and then having a tight end drag behind the defenders into an open space. Brock Purdy is exceptional at that because he has receivers that are willing to fight for him for extra yardage in short space. Yeah, that makes sense.
I rewatched the game this morning, and I only saw one sack. In that one sack, he actually got out of the grasp of one defender, and then Williams wasn't able to hold Irvin, and so Irvin got a sack. And so there were so many plays. There was the first touchdown to McCaffrey was a play-action pass to McCaffrey where Irvin and number 10 from Seattle had Purdy. It should have become 3rd and goal on the 13. They should have sacked him. And he just went up in the pocket. He didn't do what Jimmy would have done or most quarterbacks would have done. He went up in the pocket and just easy pass to Christian McCaffrey for a touchdown. And it's those little things that I've been talking about where instead of getting sacked, he lives for another day. He lives for another day. And I understand it's because he has weapons and he realizes 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10 isn't that big of a deal. Before, the Niners always had to be 2nd and 4. They always had to be 3rd and 3. But a 10-yard play is very doable now. There was like 12 throws in the first half over 20 yards by him. That's not something that San Francisco does. He didn't look good in the first half. Let's be clear. He did not look that good in the first half. He was probably the worst half I've seen him play. And
that was Tiny Hines. That was Tiny Hands wet football, Brock Purdy. Yeah. And you won't need to see much of that. I'll say this to Harrison: if the Bears go and get 80% of the talent that the 49ers have, Justin Fields will do for them what Purdy is doing for the Niners. But they need to get in people that when Fields puts the fear of death in them with his feet, that he has fighting talented receivers in short space for easy throws on the scramble. And if they do that, the Bears could be a real problem. Like they could be I'll pay attention to that story. If they go get him some talent that can get yards after catch, he'll make everybody in the middle real mad.
Let's hope.
That's why people need to talk about John Lynch more. I mean, they built through the draft. They really built through the draft. Then they made a couple of really good trades. So trading for Trent Williams. Thank you, Washington. I don't know how you give that up. I mean, quarterback, left tackle, defensive end. That's how you build a team.
Yeah,
and the Niners are like, well, we'll just build it with left tackle, defensive end, wide receiver, running back, cornerback, middle linebacker, Sam linebacker, like defensive tackle.
and then a can't miss kicker and a almost Pro Bowl punter. Yeah, sure. Like hey,
best fullback in 20 years.
Let's using the unknown.
Arguably the best overall tight end in football. I know there's a slot wide receiver in Kansas City that plays tight end that's pretty good, but pancakes that Kittle's
top 3. Yeah.
I mean, the New Day might serve pancakes, but I think Kittle serves them more. So
hey, I'm not mad at him. Not mad at him. He can play for me. I'd take him.
With that being said, though, guys, we are getting up to break. This is The Breeze on 93.7 The Ticket. If you guys want to join in on the conversation, hit up the Sartor Heyman text line 402-464-5685. We will be back right after this break. I'm Harrison. That's Haas and BP. Stay tuned in.
Hair loss and thinning is chronic, progressive, and frustrating. What we know is that the earlier it's diagnosed and treated aggressively, the better the long-term results. QC Kinetics offers a unique and comprehensive approach to restoring and improving hair follicle density and hair thickness. The majority of hair loss can be managed medically without the need for surgery. Their multifaceted approach to hair restoration allows them to help you improve both the appearance and thickness of your hair. Call QC Kinetics in Lincoln today at 402-205-4270 or go to QCkinetics.com.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Anarchy, which is an exciting new pre-workout for athletes and gym enthusiasts who want the most out of their workouts. Anarchy can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Remember, when you want results, the solution is simple. Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Rashawn Jackson, the captain for the Body Shop. And man, did they hook me up with a great massage recently? The captain has a lot of stress in his life, as many people do. And for 1 hour, it was all relief. The team at the Body Shop gave me a deep tissue massage that hit every area that I was in pain at. Whether you're looking for a Swedish massage, sports massage, deep tissue, hot stone, aroma, or more, there's only one place to go. The Body Shop at 48 NA. Book an appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.3333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for youth.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals into your body.
And nicotine, which can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media.
Many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping.
Sponsored by SAMHSA and Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
But it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into The Breeze on Ticket Weekends. I am Harrison Arns. Joining the board, we have host Haas and DP here as always, and we're talking about the NFL. DP putting me back into reality, telling me that the Bears have not always handled draft picks very well, and the history shows itself. But then Haas, he's on his high horse as the 49ers stomped out the Seahawks. Brock Purdy still looks really good. In that first half, he had a couple balls that should have been picked off, I thought, but that second half, I think even if he did throw a couple picks, the way he played in the second half, they'd probably still be okay. But nonetheless, we kind of left that there. I'll throw it back to you, Haas, and where do you want to go next?
To add to that, the balls that weren't picks, there's one that hit the middle linebacker in the helmet, but other ones just missed everyone. So the jitters and the rain definitely had an impact. But hey, I'll take the rookie slump during a season in the first half of a playoff game than instead of hopefully not in an NFC championship or in a Super Bowl. So let's just learn. You only grow from those kinds of things. So let's get that, and if it happens again, hopefully it's for a quarter. But lots of games going on with backup quarterbacks and third string quarterbacks. And then we have a rematch with Vikes Giants today. And then tomorrow, could the Buccaneers possibly allow Tom Brady to go get a Super Bowl? Could they go and take a 8-9 season and go and play maybe against the Eagles and beat the Eagles? Could that happen if the Vikings win? Is that a possibility? I mean,
you're hilarious.
If you remember in October, Harrison, I said the NFC Championship will be in San Francisco against Tampa Bay. I don't know if I'd want that. I don't know if I want a one-game matchup against Brady, even if the Niners destroyed the Bucs in the regular season. And I understand that
the Niners would rout the Bucs. They would run them out of the stadium. They would run look. That would be the reason that game would. Putting that defense against Tom Brady would be justification for Brady leaving Tampa Bay. Like that'll be a beating so bad that people would just go, okay, go let Brady go to the Niners or the Raiders and go finish his career with a legitimate shot with people who are willing to protect him and do for him, because he can't move, and a sitting target is the easiest thing for 49ers to work from. So he can't move. He's not mobile anymore. His receivers aren't bailing him out. He doesn't have the run game, so a single-faceted Buccaneer team trying to maneuver their way through the science lab that is the 49ers defense, and then hoping to be close enough in the fourth quarter for Brady to put two drives together to make a game of it. I don't think it'll be that close. I don't think he'll have the option. I also am not sure, and I'll ask you both this, and Harrison, you can tell me first. It's Monday night. And you have to go in a door. You have to go in one of two doors. You have to go in the Dak Prescott door, or you have to go into the Tom Brady door. What door do you go in Monday night?
Is there a third door called the Cowboys defense?
Nope. You got to go one or the other.
I'm going with Dak Prescott. Yeah, the Buccaneers, if you look at Tom Brady and the success he's had, it took him very late into the season for him to finally get that deep ball. And the line finally got healthy enough, right? So he was sitting there just a little longer, and he could finally deliver that deep ball. But like you said, he's not mobile, Tom Brady, anymore. And I'm not even feeling good about this Monday night. I mean, you're going to have Parsons breathing down your neck. That's a defense that if I'm Tom Brady, that's one of the defenses I absolutely do not want to play right out of the gate.
Did you see that? Did you see that defense against the Commanders? Did you see that against a rookie quarterback making his professional debut, a quarterback who had never made a throw in the NFL, and what he did to the Cowboys defense? And let me tell you, that rookie's name is not Tom Brady.
Or Purdy.
I'm still feeling I'm going to steadfast on the Cowboys defense. I think the way this one works out, I don't like the way Tom Brady's fitting in this one. I think we'll be shocked by the Cowboys defense. I think Dak Prescott isn't definitely not the most elite quarterback. He's far from it. But I think they can do enough on offense. And the Buccaneers, even if that defense isn't elite by any means, the Buccaneers, they haven't scored a lot of points all season either.
Dallas scored 6 points against the Commanders. 6.
I feel like all they need to get to, if they get to 24 points, I just don't see a lot from this Buccaneers offense. Even though it's Tom Brady, I don't feel good about it. It's a game that I'm going against Tom Brady on this one.
There's one guy in that game that led the NFL in interceptions. He led the entire NFL in interceptions. That's all. Haas, you got a choice. One room or the other. Which room do you go in?
Can I give a Haas Boss guarantee real quick that
Yes,
Dak
please.
Prescott will throw an interception for the eighth game in a row on Monday night?
I think he throws 2. I think he throws 2. Yeah.
Tampa Bay looked terrible this season. I watched a lot of their games. It looks so bad. I'm pretty sure Wirfs is back, so that's going to help Brady a little bit. It was a big deal to not have a second-team All-Pro at tackle, just to help him out. So that's going to help. The chemistry, despite it being against a third-string cornerback against Carolina with Mike Evans, is starting to come back. There's no way I'm taking Dak Prescott, which most Cowboy fans are saying, can Cooper Rush play tomorrow? Can Cooper Rush start tomorrow? There's no way I'm taking Dak Prescott over Tom Brady. No way.
It's just been that bad for the Buccaneers, man. I really don't like the Buccaneers this year at all.
Man.
Like Tom Brady, that's not enough for me. That's just not enough.
If they could have played in DC any way but the way they played, and I would say, hey, I'm gonna pick Dallas to beat the Bucs. Like, they could have done anything except for exactly what they did against the Commanders, which was to be clueless in their schemes, to not have an understanding, to have inter-team battling over who the focus and the priority should be on in that game, to not have the leadership to squash said team beef offensively about who the feature should be when your best player doesn't get the ball enough and has zero explanation as to why he's not getting the ball the most. It's a defense that really didn't do the basic things well, which was tackle in a closet, right? They didn't just fatten their necks and make tackles against the Commanders in short space. They were bullied by the Washington offense. The offensive line for Washington that does not have an All-Pro in the vicinity bullied this Cowboys defense. So I don't know, and it's never quarterback versus quarterback, but I do want to say the quarterback with the most interceptions goes home. Like, that's how it seems to play, because I'm not sure Dallas is willing to trust Pollard in the running game. I'm not sure that CeeDee Lamb is in a good place in how they mistreated him last weekend. And then I'm not sure, in a battle of leadership, in a game that will be leadership won and lost, that I'm not sure that Dak is going to step up and lead the Cowboys better than Brady leads the Bucs.
You said Pollard's name, and it just hit a nerve for me. And you said they're not sure if they can trust him. Why isn't Christian McCaffrey a Pro Bowl running back when he's the best running back in football? And you have Pollard. Come on.
I listen. I've said all along that I thought over the course of decades, the Pro Bowl has always been mishandled, misguided. I don't think I give more credence to all NFL because of the way that it's handled. But even that, where Jalen Hurts was picked above Josh Allen as the second team quarterback, the running backs still not sure they got that right. The receivers not sure they got the second team right. But I understand the process, and people look when there's an abundance of talent, then it becomes judgment and opinion, and then people get left out. I'm not sure that if we're having a running back draft today, that McCaffrey isn't choice number 2. And I don't think either runner on all NFL first or second team would be ahead of McCaffrey if you were choosing the level of play they're playing at now. Like, I think Derrick Henry is still the elite, and then everybody else is a step below him. But I think McCaffrey is in the next block in the top 5, and that's pretty simple. Like, he's that good.
Yeah, I'm cool with Henry, McCaffrey, Jacobs, and then whoever you wanted to put from the NFC. They treated him as the 4th guy in the NFC, and that's crazy.
I'm not sure I wouldn't choose McCaffrey over Jacobs.
I know that's an argument my friend and I were having, who's a Raiders fan.
Harrison, are we wrong in that is Jacobs ahead of McCaffrey as a running back?
In rushing yards significantly. Sorry.
Yeah, but I would go ahead and put McCaffrey at 2. I think still, just because of the he can do so many things. I mean, we saw it when I believe it was only his second game on the 49ers when he high pointed a ball in the end zone off I think it was a wheel route, and it was insane. He looked, I mean, that was like a Justin Jefferson kind of grab, the way he elevated to grab that. So the rushing yards, he doesn't quite stack up, but I just feel really confident if he's in my backfield because I know he can do a lot of different things for me, and I can set him up in creative ways. And him and Derrick Henry, they're 2 running backs that each got some touchdown passes on their resume for this season. So Derrick Henry's still number 1 in my opinion. But I wouldn't be shy of putting McCaffrey at 2. I mean, he's just very versatile. You can put him in a lot of different ways, and he's perfect for that 49ers offense for those reasons.
Yep. All in it. I'm with you.
We've been talking about football naturally a lot, and there was some crazy news this week in wrestling where the WWE, my phone blew up one morning where the WWE was bought by the Saudis. Oh no, that's why Stephanie left. Oh no, that's why Vince is back. Now, who knows if that's actually the case? Who knows if that's rumors? It sounds like it's not fully the case, but how could that possibly be where Vince McMahon, I think, is probably the proudest, most egotistical, a person that cares about his last name, probably more than anyone. How would he give up his baby like this?
Age. It's if you're Vincent Kennedy McMahon and you've lived a full, strong 75, is that how old Vince is? How old is Vince?
Maybe 77.
Right? How much longer will he have the faculty to run and make decisions and manage and guide and direct? But also, how much time, how many opportunities is he going to get to really rock solid invest in the future of his family? And the easiest way for him to do this is to allow them to be great in their own space. Remember, Vince took what was in play for his dad, reshaped it, redirected it, and did it his own way. I'm not sure that Vince doesn't think that Steph can do it, but what easier way is to set aside this family at the value of the WWE to go and do their own thing. Like each of them to go and do their own things. Now, Steph and Triple H could go and take whatever their payout for this thing and go and do their own version of this thing, whatever way they want, and Vince won't be around and he won't care. He'll live the rest of his life at the level of finance and luxury that he wants. and the kids will be able to go and do what they want to do. It's just Stephanie and Shane O'Mac, right? Triple H has his place in the business. Shane has his place in the business. If they decide to go and do their own thing, they'll have the money to do that. Vince will get his share. He'll remove himself from it. The only question is, what do the fans think of it? And what will the fans' reaction? Because the fans think they own the WWE. Like, wrestling fans truly believe they own the WWE. They're about to find out exactly who they are in this business. And the business will never be the same again. It will change all the way, and then there'll be more competitions because other people will now take a shot at whatever version of the WWE ends up in 2024. We don't know yet.
So,
and we are real quick. I'll let you finish, and then we got to get to break here. But go ahead, Haas.
So, I think there's a lot more to this. I think with Shane not being there, Shane, I don't know if it's true. With social media, obviously, there's just so many rumors. But Shane was supposed to be a major part of the Royal Rumble last year, and then WrestleMania, and then he did something, and he was sent home. I mean, if Shane is fighting with his father, if Stephanie immediately resigns when her father's back, maybe there's some turmoil there. Maybe there's some stuff going on there that I don't know. It would be nice to. I don't know how to do the graphics, but Stephanie McMahon is all elite. But that's what I said. The next version of it. We've seen this McMahon family battle before, and it could be a part of the rib, or it could be the changing and the evolution of it. Because remember, this is how Vince got the company. So we've gone through this before. We can close out to it when we come back.
Sounds good. This is The Breeze on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. We'll be back right after this break.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
My name is Rebecca. I struggled with depression for years. I also smoked. That was my world. Finally, I realized that smoking wasn't helping me. It was making my life worse. So I took control and I quit. Now I'm able to run again and take walks with my grandkids. My tip is there's another world out there, and it's a beautiful place to be.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People Seeding Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weekends. I am Harrison Arns here with host Haas and DP as always. But I got to say, Haas, your show probably has some of my favorite intro music. Every time I always get hyped to it. But if you guys want to join the conversation, Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. You can give your thoughts and opinions there. We kind of left it at trying to figure out the Saudi in professional wrestling and trying to figure out where that's all going. And then Vince McMahon, I did look it up. He is 77 as of now today. So Haas, I'll kind of throw it to you as we got about roughly 4 to 5 minutes here to wrap it up.
So I'll try to show my shirt real quick. It's what's going to happen. What's going to happen to the game? What's going to happen with all the moves that he made when Vince left? Are they all going to be reversed? Are they all going to be changed? So that's one thing on my mind, and we'll talk about that next week because it'll be interesting to see what storylines will evolve and are we going to go back to storylines that fans didn't really like for the last 10 years or are we going to have the fresh, more NXT, more Triple H and Higginbottom's ideas from NXT, or is Vince going to be like, look, I'm Vince, and we're just going to do what I say? So that's one thing on my mind. But to DP, I really want to know what's going to happen with Shane, Stephanie, and Triple H.
Well, we've gotten the playbook over the course of the last couple of decades. We had the Linda versus Vince, Linda with Vince. Then we had Shane versus Vince, Stephanie versus Vince, Shane and Stephanie versus Vince, Shane and Vince versus Stephanie, Vince and Stephanie versus Shane. And I think now it will play out because the difference maker in this is Hunter. It's Triple H, and his power in this is that he's proven that he is a creator in this space, and he's an innovator in this space, and his friendships and his partnerships. It's Triple H, Shawn Michael, that crew, Vince Khan, that crew with Stephanie, versus Vince and the old school crew, who have anchored themselves in. Now, if the Saudi presence is legitimate, it's going to change pro wrestling in that space. They've got their cultural things that they're going to set in space. We talk about the Wild Wild West. That's what it would be in pro wrestling. It would also be a rating of all of pro wrestling, AEW, etc., of certain pieces of talent, because if they're going to invest that kind of money, they want the best of the best. They don't want minor league players in their WWE. They want, give me the 30 biggest stars, and then I'll schedule and write for 30 great stars, 29 different combinations over the next 3 months, right? That's the way it could be headed. I don't know which version of it I want. A part of me wants to see Jeff Jarrett, Daniel. I need Daniel. I need all of everybody under one umbrella so I can have the best of the best and just let them compete. But the younger crowd wants a different level of entertainment. They just don't have the money to demand it. And that's going to be, the playout's going to be fascinating. I'll support it whatever way they decide to do it. But the beauty of this is we have no idea how it's going to play out. It really is wrestling at its finest. We have no idea what the script's going to say next week. We have no idea. No idea at all.
Awesome. Go ahead. This will be our last statement here before we got to wrap it up here.
Whenever things went to Crown Jewel, it was Goldberg main eventing. So Goldberg is definitely going to have a belt if the Saudis win over the WWE. And I don't know if this guy will ever be involved if that happens, because whenever there was a Crown Jewel, he wouldn't go to Saudi Arabia. So that there's also that side of it where people are like, I'm out. I'm going to do something else. I don't want my hands touching that. And so those are the parts of the story that, yeah, you're right. I kind of want to see the soap opera. I kind of want to see what's going to happen. I guess we have to tune in and watch out.
All right, that's going to do it for us. This was The Breeze on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Harrison Arns running the board. And as always, we have host Haas in DP bidding farewell. I appreciate you guys joining the conversation as well. We'll have more Ticket weeknights throughout the rest of the day. I believe, yes, we still have Sunday Rewind with Tom Stevens and Mike Melby. Then we'll have Ricky C. Simmons later tonight, as well as some student athletes. So be sure to stay tuned into The Ticket all day for that content. Appreciate you guys listening, and have a great rest of your Sunday.